Mr. Obama, voters will make a choice in 2012 between socialism and capitalism. It's been documented that most of your czars describe themselves as Marxists, communists, and socialists. Even one of your ornaments in the White House Christmas tree was of Mao Zedong. What do you say to people who claim that in a second term, you would run roughshod over the opposition and fundamentally transform our nation into a socialist or even communist country?
Let me be clear. Your question shows your racial insensitive nature to people of my color. Voters, do you hear me? Republicans are racist. I want my czars to report this person to the UN. You Republicans always sing the same old tune. The free market will take care of everything. Well, it all fits well on a bumper sticker, but it doesn't work. And that's why I expand the safety net. And in this election, we're winning the battle.
Well, if capitalism doesn't work and the free market doesn't work, then I suppose a communist would have a billboard over a bumper sticker.
There you go.
The Soviets prove it. It's a failing that they are on the trash heap of history. You can raise taxes on the rich until they haven't a penny. You know how many days of 100% of their wealth would buy you? 18.
Let me be clear. I'm going to win this election, and I'm going to win it by repeating this phrase: tax the rich. If you're banking on convincing voters watching this debate about economic growth and job creation, you're going to lose. The people who will vote for me get their news from Jon Stewart, Bill Maher, or they don't get any news at all. What do I care about debt? My term will be over when the bill comes due anyway. I'll be dictator then. And the joke's gonna be on you.
Well, even your own tax proposals against the rich would only raise $31 billion, and you have a $7 trillion debt to deal with. It would be like something in the ocean. In a more earthy vernacular, on November the 6th, the voters are going to make you the grass and me the lawnmower. And then again, I know you're familiar with grass and other substances.
Well, once again, you gentlemen ran down another rabbit hole. But you provide comic relief, so I'll let you go at each other. Mr. Obama, to be clear, you are fond of saying, if elected to a second term, you will continue to reject American traditions of free markets and economic liberty, and you will continue to find new ways to redistribute the wealth. What is your response?
Let me be clear. I believe in God's commandment to love thy neighbor as thyself. The Bible teaches us this. For unto whom much is given, much is required.
There is no single biblical passage in which government is prescribed as the agent of charity. When Jesus spoke of much being required, he didn't mean tax payments. He meant voluntary, individual charity. I don't expect you, Mr. Reagan, to understand that. I don't expect you, Mr. Obama, to understand that, having come from Jeremiah Wright's church.
As I have often said, change isn't easy, and it won't happen overnight. But you have to admit, I'm gaining pretty good ground. I know spreading the wealth takes us deeper into debt, but I also know that spreading the wealth makes half of Americans dependent on government. It's good for once voters are hooked on government and handouts that they vote Democratic. So you don't get that. People don't have to work for a living. They can vote themselves a pay increase.
Well, at some point, other people's money runs out. Redistribution of wealth never works. Take a good hard look at Greece. After decades of socialism, even with a 65% tax rate, Greece is drowning in debt, and 20% still live in poverty. You know, the federal government is like an infant. One long alimentary canal with an insatiable appetite on one end and no responsibility for the other.
Let's pick up on that topic of religion. Mr. Obama, you riled a lot of Americans recently with your new regulation under Obamacare that violates the First Amendment of religious freedom.
That's right, that's right.
Catholic institutions, including charities, hospitals, and schools, will be forced to pay insurance coverage that includes contraceptives, abortion-inducing drugs, and sterilization processes. If Catholic institutions refuse, they will face ruinous fines in the millions of dollars, or they will be forced out of business if they can't pay those fines. Now that there's been such an outcry, will you withdraw this regulation?
Well, look, I've already compromised. I mean, Catholic institutions won't have to pay insurance. The companies will. I said that many times before.
You know, they're one and the same, just as our founding fathers framed our Constitution to separate the economy from the state. The Constitution separates church from the state. This ruling is heresy. This is just one more way of subverting the Constitution, of getting another great institution to bow to you, and one more way to steal another freedom, and I will stop you.
You can't stop me. No more you can stop me from personally ditching the Defense Marriage Act.
Well, Mr. Obama, you've expanded that topic, so let's go there.